Very randomly I started getting emails. This is not something which is demo or test data. They are like real people who are sending their addresses, sending their orders.
He has earned over $100,000 bounties in his span of career in Buckout itself. He's only 22, never went to college, and yet he has mastered a niche which very few people even know about. It's called Adobe Experience Manager.
Once you understand you've understood the vulnerability, it's better to actually move on to real targets. Practice it. As long as you don't try it out in the real world, I don't think you have gotten anywhere. There might be this conception that bug bounties are a get rich easy scheme or get rich quick scheme, which it is not. It would take your lot of your energy, lot of your dedication. The proudest moment for me with bug bounties was to be able to buy an apartment where me and my family can live in, and my mom has really been proud of it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Hacking Simplified, the Hacker to Hacker series, where we sit down with some of the most interesting minds in cybersecurity, bug bounty, security engineering, and talk about how they think, what they built, and what they've learned along the way. Today's guest is someone very special who has become a bit of a legend in his niche, Devangshu, also popularly known as This is DK999. He has earned over $100,000 bounties in his span of career in Buckout itself. He's only 22, never went to college, and yet he has mastered a niche which very few people even know about. It's called Adobe Experience Manager. What really stands out about himself is not just his technical depth, but also the niche he has carved and the path he has taken, learning entirely by himself, collaborating with his peers, and constantly reinventing and motivating other hackers in this space. I've gone through a lot of his tweets and see how he tries to motivate other people, and he's a very good ambassador in that sense, I would say. In the next hour and a half, we'll go deep into not only his journey, but also the techniques, tips, and tricks he would have for young hackers who are coming into this space, his mindset, and what keeps him grounded. We'll also touch upon the human side of hacking, burnout, mental health, how to stay motivated, and things that like people don't usually talk about in the bug bounties Twitter space, I would say. So whether you're just getting started into security or you have been in this space for a very long time, this episode is going to give you a real look into what it takes to be a elite hacker in this space. Thank you, Devanshu, for joining in. On to you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm really excited to for this session.
Okay. Starting with that, in our previous conversation when we were talking, you mentioned that you were never a CS grad or a college topper. Going through your tweets and other things that I know, I figured that you were a WWE fan, tagging Brock Lesnar into something random. It was like a long back. But tell me
Yeah.
something more about your background information. When did you first realize you could actually break things on the internet and also get paid for it?
So actually, I didn't really have a PC or a computer growing like when I was growing up back home. I used to go to these cyber cafes for and pay
Oh,
like
yeah.
15 rupees or 10 rupees for an hour of surfing on the internet, or maybe just using the computer. And during these random visits to these cyber cafes, I discovered hacking. Like you could no, okay, this is interesting. I wasn't really into the white hat side first. Like I did, uh, you know, I think every hacker they have this journey where they start by doing some random stuff like
Yeah.
creating USB rubber duckies, or maybe trying to spoof some networks and
Oh,
stuff.
definitely. Yeah.
um, the starting point was just fiddling out, like just try and do things that may be interesting to me, and hacking naturally occurred to be one of those things. It's just
I
yeah.
I remember doing this, like going to cyber cafes long back. As you mentioned, 10 rupees was the hourly rate where you can go and use it. And I mean, rubber ducky was something that I got to know about very late. One of the first thing that I started was with this LAN hacking and stuff because I was there in college and people were doing it. What was the first thing that you got introduced to in this cybersecurity space?
I think I had a friend, like he told a story like once I went to this you know Starbucks and I just spoofed a network, and then he told me that he got access to a lot of people's Facebook accounts, and that was really interesting to me, like how did you do that? So I asked him a couple of questions on it, and it really intrigued me as a kid, like who is like maybe 14 years old, and that stuff is really cool to you. So yeah, that is one of the things that actually got me into hacking, or got me interested about hacking.
Or definitely, I mean, Facebook hacking, Instagram hacking. I remember when I was wearing like it was a decade ago or so. Vivek Ramchandran, who's very popular in the cybersecurity space, he had a research on cafe latte attack, which was very popular. It was on the WEP Wi-Fi protocol, not the WPA2. But and there was a WEP Wi-Fi nearby my house, so I tried using these crackers to crack it, and I got cracked. It was just a tool script kiddie thing, but I really loved it because I was able to do something that I read on online, and I was able to implement it. So that is
Being
something.
able to do like things that you read about on the internet, it's really a cool thing when, especially
Yeah.
when you are starting.
Yep, I remember there's this website called Null Byte Wonder How To. It used to have a lot of tutorials, and
Mhm.
majority of them were very updated, so they used to work really well. So otherwise, it's I mean random websites used to work, so I used to feel okay, it's just I'm not like a script kiddie won't be able to figure it out. So it didn't feel that it would actually work, but Null Byte Wonder How To was the website where you actually go and that used to work. So that was a really good experience there.
Yeah, yeah, but it really is a nice website.
So how did you get into bug bounty? I understand hacking and Facebook and curiosity is something that you get into, but how was it that you got towards bug bounty? Was it accidental or planned or something?
So, during like the COVID phase or the lockdown around maybe 2020, um, I was, with some friends like in the hacking community, and they told me about Buckrout. Like there's this website called Buckrout where people, companies come and register, and you can, report some issues to them and get paid. So I started with maybe like very basic issues like no rate limiting, or the ones that are really easy to find, maybe like clickjacking.
Mhm.
A guy
Oh,
actually got paid like $100 for it. He was working with me, like we were trying to start our career together. And that really drew me into bug bounties. Like, okay, wow, you can actually get paid for things you submit to different organizations. And sooner after that, I got up like I did some submissions in public programs that were unfortunately duplicates, but it gave me some like 1 or 2 points, and Buckrod was favorable enough to give me a private invite. And
oh,
for a beginner, a private invite which hasn't been tested is like a really good way to start. Like
mhm.
you have a good scope, you get to learn things, and there's less competition because the program might be fresh.
Yeah.
So that private invite allowed me to experiment with the application, put forward like things I had already learned about, and try it out, yeah, and get some
Yeah.
actual vulnerabilities. So
I mean,
that's how
definitely. I mean, I
I
totally
started.
agree with you. If you have a private invite and it's very early on it, that definitely boosts your morale and because you actually find bugs that you have learned online other places. So what was the first bug bounty? This was the $100 thing for a clickjacking stuff.
No, actually, like my first bounty was uh, a Google Calendar bug. Like they were
Okay.
a small team, like a very small team. Like I emailed them and said that I found an issue, so and so. I learned about this issue on Buckrout University. It's
Mhm.
still there. It's by Rohan Rizal.
Oh.
It's a Google Calendar misconfiguration. Like
Oh.
there are calendars sometimes
Hmm.
employees calendars are set to public, and that
Yeah.
reveals a lot of meetings and stuff. So they were like a very
Um,
small company. They said, look, this is a really sensitive issue, but we are only be able to offer $50. So yeah, that was my first bounty. But
but
the
definitely,
excitement in that $50 is more than probably like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 even at this
obviously,
stage.
the first bounty is always special.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, Buckrout University is one of the go-to source for you, but what are other places where you learned hacking, even though you never went to college? So you had this peer group for maybe were these all online friends? Because I assume in COVID there was a lockdown, so you can't meet them in person. So,
It was mostly online friends. Plus, I think the X or Twitter community is really good. Like if you follow good people, they usually share good stuff. Like some research, like let's say Post Trigger Academy or James Cattle or Dead Volvo has really good research on like smuggling. You have Zero for Next.js research, and there's like Rhinorator. They like so many guys you
yeah,
can
there's so
follow.
many.
If you follow the right guys, I think there will also be suggestions related to those people, and you can follow more people. But make sure to not over consume content. Like you just reading and reading. You need to, okay, you read something. Let's actually hack on some websites first. So you need to keep a balance between that. But I think
Yeah.
X is really good. Plus Medium is obviously there, and I think Black Hat videos are really good. Black Hat videos or a good conference like Echo Party,
Hmm.
which is being held right now in Buenos Aires. It's
Hmm.
also a good source of good research.
I remember participating in Echo Party City and they're really good ones. That's interesting. So tell
Yeah.
me something about one of your early beginner mistake that you made and that taught you a lot into cybersecurity. And someone who's just starting in, what should they do and choose where to start? Like, is it like labs, programs, CTS, real targets? So let's touch upon both of these things.
Okay, so uh, about mistakes, like I don't think really think it's a mistake, but try to not be contained to yourself. Like try to make friends in the community that you can collaborate with. One of the mistakes I maybe did in my early years is that I did not collaborate much. I had
Hmm.
people I was collaborating with, but I was not more open to collaboration. Like I was trying to hack on a program, maybe singularly, and I was not trying to reach out to people that maybe already participating in the program. That is one of the
Hmm.
mistakes maybe I did, because collaboration helps a lot,
Hmm.
especially when you are handling multiple scopes. There is like multiple
Yeah.
programs, and at a time like you get confused like where to focus or put your energy on. Whereas when there is a
Hmm.
group of people you're working on or hacking with, they'll always send you something like, okay, take a look at this,
Hmm.
take a look at that. So you're always occupied. Like your effort or your time does not go to waste. There's this one. And can you please repeat the
Oh
other
yeah,
question?
sorry. Also, I have a few questions about collaboration. I'll talk about it later. Yeah, so the next part was for someone who is just starting today. Let's say they have read a lot of Debangshu is doing this much bounty, is getting so many things. See, the other people who are doing great. The other mentions that you mentioned on X. How
Yeah.
should they start their path? Should they start with labs? Should they start with real programs, targets, VDPs? There are a bunch of roads that people can take. What do you think should people start with who are just starting here?
So I think something which is very important is someone's ability to learn.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is a quick learner, please do not waste much time in labs. You do it, you learn about the vulnerability, you get insights like, okay, this is how I should test for in web application. Like XSS could be very simple as an H1 tag. You can just spray it on multiple inputs. As your experience grows, you will know where and how to spray these payloads. So this is just an example. Like
Mm-hmm.
once you understand you have understood the vulnerability, like how you can test for things and how you can probably like escalate it. Once you have understood, it's better to actually move on to real targets rather than sticking to labs. You obviously need to learn about things, right? Like you learn about something, you practiced it. Now what's there left to be done? Like you will have to just practice it. As long as you don't try it out in the real world, I don't think you have gotten anywhere.
Yep. Yep. And
You
what
really
one of
need
the,
to
yep. Right.
really need to try it out in the real world. So I suggest, like, once you have learned about the things, you have understood what the vulnerability is or how you can detect and exploit it, you should just move on to real world.
Okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I've seen a lot of people, they try some of these programs, and what happens is they don't get any bounties, and then they think that they have not learned enough, and then they go back to the reading tab and they start reading hundreds of blogs, and then again they go back to this hacking. Yeah.
I think note keeping is overrated sometimes. Like
Oh yeah.
you can
I mean,
make
yeah,
the
people
prettiest,
go into the rabbit hole
prettiest
of,
notes. You won't have
yep,
everything structured. Like okay, I spent X hours here. I spent Y hours here. I learned documented this thing, but it does just not work for me.
exactly.
My
I mean,
notes are like scribbled
most of the
everywhere.
people I've talked to, it's very scrappy. They might have Apple Notes or just a notepad or VS Code text file. That's the only thing. It's not very fancy thing. It's not very searchable. It's not that, okay, if you ask from anywhere, you would have very proper MD files sorted out, all those things. People spend ton of amount on organizing things than actually spending or grinding
Doing
their
it.
time on
Yeah.
hacking it,
I think
which is,
the
I feel,
message here should be actually do it.
yeah,
Actually
just do
start
it.
hacking.
Nike, just do it. If only Nike could sponsor this, but yeah, that's what
Probably
I
someday.
meant. But this is a good segue about, and we're talking about collaboration. I remember in a previous conversation you mentioned that you met your hacking partner on Instagram, one of your hacking partners.
Yeah.
How did that comment and what's the backstory about it turn into $100,000 partnership now?
Ah, yeah. So I met Tess on an Instagram comment. Like I'm sure you already know about
Oh
him.
yeah,
He's a
We
famous
had
guy.
Tess here on Hacker to Hacker. Yeah,
Yeah. So
great guy.
it was either me or him on Integrity's Instagram, post commented like, if you are looking for a collaboration partner, comment down below. Probably it was like me. I commented and he replied, and then
Oh,
we started talking, and then like okay, we should collab. We started hacking on a program. We made good money on it. Then it just uh, transformed to another level of friendship. Like it's been around probably like 5 to 6 years I know him,
oh,
and he's a big source of inspiration for me. Like
yep,
his dedication, his commitment, his work ethic is like top notch.
yep.
So I think having friends with whom you can collaborate in the long term, it's not like one or two collaboration. We have collaborated on multiple bugs. It's like more of a partner kind of thing you like have. So yeah, that really changed my career, I think. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting because like one of the I would say not a very advanced thinking is people think that collaborating or sharing bounties is not the good thing, or I mean, why do I need to give? Like, it's more of a scarcity mindset. So people don't understand that by collaborating, you might get 10 bounties instead of doing it solo, you might get only three of them. So,
Exactly. So I think you should always think about the
mhm,
long run.
mhm,
My advice is always try to find partners because it's more like a business. Treat it more like a business. Like,
exactly.
you should not be restricted to one or two issues. Like you collaborated once or twice. Don't be restricted to that. And you will see a pattern. Like as you grow, your partners also grow, they also learn things, they experiment, like as you are growing, your partners are also growing, so it like levels you up
Yeah.
as a hacker. Um, so I think you should really try and build long-term relationships with people that you may find trustworthy. It will really help you more
Hmm.
in your career.
That's interesting. And like talking more about collaboration. So how do you like split the work between things? Or is it just that he comes up with something and then you start picking up on that? Or is it like always you figure out, okay, this is the target, we'll split half and half and we'll do half recon and work on half of these. How do you work together and how do you exploit it? How does the reporting work? How does the bounty split work? How does those things, how does the logistics work for you in this thing?
Right.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry. Did I cut in between?
Yeah, yes, I think internet
Devanshu, can
was
you hear me?
not right.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
hear me now? Okay, yeah. So I was talking about the
yes, yes.
logistics of these collaborations. How do you split the work between yourselves? How do you exploit it? How do you do the reporting? How do you split the bounties? How does this work like for a usual bugs that you do?
Okay, so right now I'm like collaborating with a close group of people. Like there's like three or four people I mostly collaborate with,
Hmm.
and How it works is like it's based on a mutual understanding. Like let's
Hmm.
say someone finds an issue, and then someone from the group they help him exploit the issue. So it's like split 50-50. But
Hmm.
let's say I'm the third person. I'm putting in effort in the submission. I
Hmm.
have done maybe like research on it. Maybe he tried to escalate the impact. So it just gets split by three. I think it's not a fixed amount that we are
Hmm.
dividing. It's more based on mutual discussion, like okay,
Hmm.
you've done this part, maybe you deserve like 20%, 30%. For me, like percentage does not really matter.
Hmm.
It is again, it's more on the long
And
term thing, like
everyone.
thinking long term thing. So
Hmm.
even if it's like 5 or 10%, I'm like okay, it's fine with me. Does not matter, because we are going to be making more money
Yep.
in the long run. I don't want to quarrel for like 5 to 10%. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's fine. That works with me. But it's like uh, fix a percentage which is like mutually agreeable by all the partners that are
Hmm.
involved in the submission. That would
Hmm.
be good. Like
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Having clear
it's not
communication
like
really helps.
yeah, it's not like a certain percentage that
Hmm.
gets split. It's mostly based on mutual understanding.
And I feel like in general, like hackers are more friendly and easy to talk to. So
Yeah.
it's not that you would have to haggle someone that, hey, I need more or this. Something like I don't think that usually happens. But yeah, that's a really cool insight that collaborating with a certain group of people. So if someone who doesn't have a group right now, if they had to find people for collaborating, how do you think they should go out? I mean, you were lucky because Integrity was running a Instagram post or something. But were you actively looking for collaboration or it was just a chance?
I think it was really chance. I wasn't
Okay,
really looking for anything, but the good people I met in my career are mostly by chance. I was
that's
not
so good.
actually looking for people to collaborate with, but I did find them.
Oh, that's really interesting. And yeah, coming to the, I mean, you mentioned about everyone participating, and then there would be people who bring their own niche, like you have your own niche in, I think, Adobe Experience Manager and a few other things. So, talking about Adobe
Yeah.
Experience Manager, and everyone was like, Adobe Experience Manager is not something that's very popular on the Twitter scene or anywhere else that people go and hack on Adobe Experience Manager. People talk about big scopes, recon, automation, those kinds of things. How did you figure that, okay, I'll start in Adobe Experience Manager? Was it like an accidental bug that you found and then you went deep into that? How did you land upon Adobe Experience Manager?
Okay, so my first encounter with Adobe Experience Manager AEM was on MasterCard.
Mhm.
I found an issue, like it was a very low level issue. I reached out to AEM Security. He's a really great guy, by the way. Like his name is Atik Khan, Mr.
So
Atik Khan. He's
AEM
like very
Security is
senior.
his handle,
Yeah,
handle, or Twitter handle, right? Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's his Twitter handle. Yeah, probably he's not much active right now, but I reached out to him, and he, helped me with that exploitation, because I was like very new to this thing. So during this escalation and this process, I found out something like, okay, this is something new. It's not a standard vulnerability class like XSS or CSRF or information disclosure. It's a CMS,
Mhm.
content management system, but there are a lot of companies that are using this CMS.
Mhm.
That is where my interest peaked, like okay, let's dig more into it. So I found like talk by Mikhail Igorov. He goes by
Mhm.
O Angel on Twitter. He had good research on AEM. I read all through his talk, and every material that was on the internet that was done
Mhm.
by him. And I also dove deep into Adobe Experience Manager documentation, because it was really more of an interest kind of thing. Like this thing seems interesting, and
Yeah.
I should probably read more about it. And that is what got me started. Like it was a probably low level bug, but it did pique my attention.
And is Adobe Experience Manager something that you can set up locally, or is it something that you can only sign up and it's a cloud only thing?
Well, um, you can download a Docker image of it, but you'd still
Mm.
need a license key
License fee for that.
to set it up. I
Oh.
don't know where you can get it, but probably there's a way to get it. and you can
Obviously,
try and set it up.
some work people should do on their own. You can't give everything to them. Okay. So what made you realize that it was such an under secured gold mine? Like, because WordPress is a very popular CMS. Everyone hacks on WordPress and tries to find security vulnerabilities. You mentioned that Adobe CMS is something that corporates use or enterprises use. Is that why you went after it? Like you found a few things, you found maybe misconfiguration, the way it's being configured or the way it's being used. And then you realize because Adobe is a big company, there are a lot of enterprises to it. So is that something that's why you went deep into it, or it was
Yeah.
just a curiosity? Was it a strategy there?
So like AEM is a very complex attack surface. Like you have multiple layers to it, and I think in development these layers make a really big difference. Like there's something called dispatcher in AEM, which is like
Okay.
kind of a WAF. It's not a WAF, but it serves like as a primary WAF to
Mm-hmm.
the internal systems or parts that have sensitive information in AEM. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times dispatcher is not configured correctly, and
Mm-hmm.
due to this, a lot of paths or endpoints in AEM becomes accessible, and
Mm-hmm.
that in that way you can get good bugs on AEM. And I saw this as a recurring theme. Like there were a lot of companies whose dispatcher policies were really weak, and
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, AMs are in use by a lot of companies. Like every big tech giant you can imagine, they probably use AMs. I don't know why they use it, but it's good as it's getting me bounties.
Oh, obviously, yeah. So you mentioned something about dispatcher and how it is misconfigured. So is it like, did you build a scanner or something for like scanning this misconfiguration across the whole internet or something?
Yeah, so for recon purposes, I have my very good friend. His name is Arpit Borawake. He goes by
Oh, I know
1126.
Arpit. I
Yeah.
think I know Arpit.
So anything that comes on my mind, like it's the most random exploit idea or the most random CV, I create an exploit and send it over to him. Because we have something that we might be working on. I can't say things
Okay.
yet, but he can probably like scan the entire internet for it.
Okay.
So
That's
anything I'm
good.
finding, I just send it over to him. Like I
Okay.
just create the exploit, and rest is up to him. He owns the
Oh,
internet.
he does the automation part for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's one more thing I remember we were talking about last time where you mentioned about query builder vulnerability, something of that sort. Can you like elaborate on
Sure.
that? What was that?
So, Query Builder is a feature actually. It's actually a feature in AEM
Hmm.
to query the entire AEM instance. And
Okay.
normally, in as a good security policy, it should not be exposed.
Hmm.
It is available at like /bin/querybuilder.json.
Hmm.
Now you can append these bypasses like json.css or .js.
Hmm.
This is a cause you to weak dispatcher policies.
Hmm.
Like they may disallow .json, but they will allow .css or .js. And
Hmm.
the dispatcher gets fooled by when you add multiple extensions to it, like slash a
Oh,
dot
okay.
css slash b dot css. When you add these, the sometimes the query builder.json becomes accessible. Now,
Hmm.
with query builder, what we can do is we can create lots of queries. Like if you create a query where you maybe put path equals to /etc
Hmm.
and type equals to entities to file, so it would display all the files that are in the
Okay.
etc directory. Similarly, there are queries like type equals to entities to folder. It would display all the folders that are inside the etc directory. Now, with this query builder, what you can do is first enumerate all the folders that are inside probably like etc directory or home directory. Pick any directory you want, and
Hmm.
then with the query type equals to entities to file, you can display or disclose all the files that are inside the etc
Hmm.
directory. And once you have the path of the file, you can just simply append it to like domain.com/etc/xyz/secret.txt and try accessing it.
I see how much passionately and energetically you were talking about this thing as if you have like it's very good to see the energy there. And okay, this is very interesting. So
Mm.
two common mistakes that you mentioned is weak dispatcher policy that people usually have on AEM instances and query builder. Again, that's also related to dispatcher policy.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
And
there
I think
something
there
that,
is,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt. I think there is a lot more to be discovered in AAMs if you actually read or go through the documentation. Due to like personal constraints, I haven't been able to do more research on AAMs, but there are different issues that I found that was only possible due to me reading the documentation.
oh yeah, I was about to get to that. Like, where should people start reading it? I'll put link of all these people, all these Twitter profiles that you mentioned, as well as the documentation link into the link of this video there. Coming to that,
And
so
I have,
yeah,
I have also a speaker deck, slide.
oh,
It's called To the Docs and Beyond. There's like four parts in it, and the third part talks about specifically about a query builder and how to use it for
okay.
bounties.
I think you have a tweet about it. I'll put that
Yeah,
also
yeah,
in
I
the
can do
link
that.
of this. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for sharing, Devanshu.
Yeah.
Okay, now talking about we talk a lot about AM. Tell me a hack that blew your mind. Like I can't believe that actually worked. Something of that scale. That okay, you were trying something and that actually worked.
Okay. So this is also about AMs. Okay.
Probably you
Okay,
should change your
I
handle
actually
to
have
AEM
two.
security or something.
I actually have two. I'm confused. What should I talk about? Hmm.
Okay, maybe
Okay.
talk about both of
I
them.
think we have talked about AMs already. Let me give you something else. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I was hacking on this program in this probably like this year. So this is a very interesting case. Like this is not related to any vuln types that you may find. Okay, so there's this website. It's like a shopping website, and you have like login. You can order stuff on it. You have a chat support. Okay, so I was normally browsing the DNS the records of it.
Hmm.
In that you would find like a record, cname record, txt record, everything. And
Hmm.
in that cname record I found out target. Okay, target and .zendesk.com, right?
Okay. Hmm.
So when I visited target.zendesk.com, it was unclaimed. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
let's try to claim it.
okay.
But they were also already using another chat support software,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But I was able to claim target.zendesk.com. I don't know
Hmm.
how it happened. I think it was
And
sorry.
Zendesk is the customer support for people who have not used it. Zendesk is a customer support that a lot of companies use it.
So sorry, a minor correction. It was like not target dot sorry, zendesk.target.com. It was zendesk.target, something like that. Okay. So basically, it was on Zendesk's instance, not on the company domain. Okay.
Okay.
So after claiming that Zendesk instance, I waited for like I did not have any expectations from it, but like very randomly, I started getting emails on that instance.
Okay.
And like, okay, let's see, like probably it's like a demo email or a test email,
Uh,
but slowly and steadily these emails started increasing. Like first it was one, two, three, four, then it was like 10, 15 emails.
and,
When I am like scrolling and I'm like, okay, this is not something which is demo or test data. They're like real people who are sending their addresses, sending their orders, like, where is my order? Tell me. So I'm like, wow, okay, I have a bug, but I don't know how it happened. So one funny thing I did was I went to my takeover site, like it was target.zendesk.com, and when I logged in, I asked one of the customers like, hey, where did you arrive from? Which was the link
that's even interesting.
you arrived from? So she told me that it was target.com/checkout/xyz. Okay, I'm like, okay,
Oh,
let's visit target.com/checkout/xyz. So when I visited this site, normally did not show up on it. But I'm like reloading and stuff, like I'm like wondering like how it went. So
Uh,
after like 2 to 3 second, a chat box pops up.
okay, that's where you
And
came.
it was my chatbot.
It's okay. So once you configured that, then only it started appearing. Otherwise, it was
Exactly.
not there.
So there was
Oh,
probably like an orphaned code snippet
ah,
or some
yep,
part in
makes
James file that was still housing the old Zendesk
mm,
instance. So when I took it over, the chain becomes complete,
complete
and
now.
due to
This is really
due
cool.
to the domain being already mentioned in the JS or the code snippet, it gets connected, and I have taken over all the customer support.
This is really cool. Man, this
So
is
like
really
hundreds,
interesting.
100 or 200 plus, users
Yeah, and
data they are
sensitive data
sending me
and
like this
everything
is
coming up.
this, this is changes, this, that, everything. It was really mind blowing.
That's interesting. So, I mean, this is a really good. I've not heard anyone talk about these kinds of bugs. They don't usually do it. They have talked about subdomain takeover and stuff, but those are usual stuff. And oh, this is interesting. So
I plan
you
to make
found
a
it.
talk on
Yeah.
it, but I hope
Oh, you
some
should.
actual friends will accept it.
Oh, you will definitely get into it. You mentioned about AEM and this random DNS thing that you found, which is again a very interesting vulnerability in class in themselves. Someone who is gonna start something of their own, like Next.js, Vercel, Superbase, all these things are coming up. You might not have the time for it, but someone who is gonna start and find their own AEM like the way you found, what should something of that technology be that people should focus where they can go very deep into and is being adopted quite globally?
Yeah. Okay, so first thing, do your research. Like,
Mhm.
find a software that lot of companies use. It may not be like a million, but at least find something that has like 50 to 100K installs, and then only invest your time into it. um, like something that top hackers do is like they find some software that is in use globally, and they mass scale on it. And
Mm,
secondly, it has to be something which you enjoy hacking.
okay.
Like I wouldn't have been able to conduct research on
Hmm.
AEM if it was not interesting to me.
Obviously.
So find something that is a popular, and B, you would enjoy hacking on it. Like
Mm,
I think there are lots of hackers. Like each hacker has his or her own niche, and I myself really do not enjoy authenticated testing. I like things that are unauth, like try to break into it and try accessing it. So find something that you really enjoy doing it, and then obviously it has to be a popular product. Like you
mm,
should not invest your time in finding issues on something that has like 5 or 10 installs, or like
mm.
it's an
Makes
open source
sense.
project or something. So first is it should be popular. Second is you should enjoy hacking on it, and I think uh, I think that's it, like
That's a really
just find
good one.
something.
That's a really good,
Yeah.
I mean, filtering because there are hundreds of thousands of projects. You can't just go randomly on everyone. And this is something that I've found talking to so many hackers that everyone has got their niche, either tech, either product, or maybe a methodology that's there. That's really cool. Coming
Yeah.
to the next segment of this whole thing. So you mentioned a lot of these bugs that you found, like for example, targets and testing. There was this query builder thing, and we talked about how you could scan it up for, let's say, millions of websites and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to understand, like people, and there's a lot of talk about automation tools, recon and stuff. How
Mhm.
much do you think of your workflow is automated right now? How much do you rely on recon or maybe recon from other people? But how much do you think that's important to your workflow? How much is the recon part of this whole thing?
Mm. I think with Recon you can really find great bugs. Okay,
Mm,
so first thing, like there are a lot of ephemeral issues, like they
mhm,
can be fixed quickly.
mhm,
Like it could be something like a database that's being left open. You can find
mm,
lots of these ephemeral issues if you have a Recon or continuous monitoring workflow. And
mhm.
I personally rely on my friend Arpit for this. Like I have something interesting, I'll probably like give it to him, and he'll conduct the monitoring of
Probably I should
certain hosts.
invite
Like,
Arpit on this.
yeah, yeah, you should. He's a great guy. If you are talking about automation, DNS, like he is a really
Mhm.
cool guy.
Yep.
So a lot of things I rely upon him because we have a good partnership. Like there are like three or four people we, with whom I enjoy actually hacking,
Hmm.
and we have like work that is distributed. Like I do some part, he does some part, and it's like a collaborative thing. But
Hmm.
if you are like solo, I think you should maybe once you start finding issues, you'll find something that's uncommon. You'll find something that people don't usually find. Keep those
Hmm.
and try to get a good list of hosts. Maybe all of your bug bounty programs,
Hmm.
and monitor what all domains they own, or maybe what's all in scope. And it's not hard to spin up a basic automation. You need a small VPS, cheap VPS, get like a $5 or $10 VPS, and
Hmm.
run your scripts on it. Like maybe just find endpoints, cool endpoints on all of your target hosts.
Hmm.
It would give you something to work with.
Yeah. So you mentioned about like getting a cheap VPS and doing automation. Do you think port scanning is something that people should focus on, or is it just the domains, or is it, let's say, domains and the endpoints? What do you think
Sorry,
people
can you
should
repeat?
focus? Oh, when you mentioned about the cheap VPS that you can own on maybe DigitalOcean, Linode, or whichever host you have, port scanning is something that takes a lot of time. Let's say if you're running Nmap or Ruscan or whatever. So if people skip that port scanning part and they just find hosts and use maybe FFUF or some other tool to find these sensitive endpoints, maybe have a list of, let's say, 2000 sensitive endpoints to figure out what kind of things are running. Is that good enough a starting point? Because that is something that can be automated quickly and also reliably. And also, like the scan times are very small instead of
Yeah,
like taking a
I
couple
think
of
that's good
hours.
enough. I think that's good
Yeah.
enough. You can either go deep or you can go wide. So
Yep.
whichever approach works for you, it's good. For me personally, I like to find something interesting first, maybe a
Mhm.
panel or like a third party software, and then invest my time or effort into it. So I think discovery
Mhm.
is really important, but you can either go deep, like you can go hammering on a certain subdomain, or you can scan the whole scope for it, for
Mhm.
something.
And just curious, have you built any of your scripts or tools or any word lists that you use specifically? Any of these things?
Um, Not really like for AEMs, I might have some parts that might not be public, like
Hmm.
which I spend a lot of time in, and then
Uh-huh.
I think let's take an example of AMs.
Hmm.
Like I may have something that's not public.
Hmm.
There's like probably like a few lists that I may use, but apart from that, it's just the public list, like raft word list,
Okay.
large word list, and there's like Ayub's leaky pass.txt. That's mostly what I use.
Okay. That makes sense. And coming to like organizing stuff and things, we also touched upon this early on, but how do you manage and track targets? Because you would be hacking on like multiple targets. You would have
So
multiple
your
bursts.
internet's cracking.
Oh, sorry. I was coming to the organization part because every time you might be acting on, let's say, multiple targets at a time to get more bounties and to figure out more attack surfaces. How do you manage and track these targets, nodes, and results efficiently so that once you come back to that, you know exactly where you left it off? How do you do those things? As you're hacking on multiple targets simultaneously, how do you manage and track targets, nodes, and results efficiently across these domains.
So I'm not really a good nodes guy. I mostly
Mhm.
use Obsidian, Notepad, plus plus, and sometimes I also jot down notes on WhatsApp. When I have something on my mind which I quickly need to note down, I'll just send a text message to myself like, okay,
Mhm.
go home and check this, go home and check that. So these are three things I use. I'm not really a big note taker.
Definitely, I do that a lot. I have a bookmarks WhatsApp pinned on me, and where I send to anything, any random idea, any random thing that comes to me, I just put it there. Oh, that's
I think
interesting.
that's the peak of note taking.
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
they never realized that could also be a use case, but that's a really good one. Everyone I see have a bookmarks, a self, or something of that sort in their WhatsApp thing.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your
I just
view
send
on?
it to myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was about to touch upon the most hyped topic recently, AI and LLMs for bug bounty research and reporting. Have you used any of these tools to help you in bug bounty research or like just finding bugs there?
Yeah, so I think it's good. Like
Hmm.
Claude Code, I use Claude Code.
Hmm.
The way I use Claude Code is like, firstly, I gather the main .js or the app.js file, and I have a custom script that unminifies the main.js, so it's easier to process for the AI. And once I have the unminified JS file, what I'll do is just open Claude Code in my terminal, and then give it. I have a prompt built in. Like what it does is basically tries to understand a bit of the code, like because we are working with limited tokens here, right?
Hmm.
So it mostly does rejects, and it will get try and fetch me all the unauthenticated endpoints or attack surface that we can work with, or probably like if there's some weak back-end logic, it can be used to infer that as well. Mostly I
Hmm.
use it to find unauthenticated endpoints and attack surface, and I then give it the URL, like, look, this is your target CTF,
Hmm.
and whatever you find on this, make sure to validate on this target CTF. And if it finds an interesting endpoint, it also finds like what content type should be used, what type of data we can pass it
Hmm.
on, and what kind of attacks we may use. So I think Cloud Code is good for hacking. There may be a lot of use cases of it, like just
Hmm.
just think what you can do with it. For me, I think this is working out for me. Like I found some bugs with this approach itself. It's not something rocket science, but it speeds
Yeah.
up the manual effort involved in it. And like you can say, like this can also be done with link finder or like
Hmm.
relative URL extractor. You can do this, but where they lack is like they'll give you list of endpoints that you can append, that maybe available unauthenticated.
Hmm.
But what this does is reduces your effort, like it's already doing it for you, plus it's
Yeah.
gathering you the exact request that you need. It would give you the curl command, or if you need a burp suit, a pastable request, it will give that as well. I think
I
you're
mean, yeah,
just
it,
limited by your imagination. Like
yep.
obviously there is a limit to which you can use LLMs for security research. You cannot give them a code base and like expect them to find all the security issues in it, but they can be a force multiplier for you.
Oh, definitely. I've seen people using so much of it, and it's very useful in a way that it understands way more than, and it has been trained on the public available data, so they understand even unminifying it. So they're, I mean, whatever tools
Also,
are, yeah.
you need to be yeah, sorry. Also, you need to understand the caveats of it as well. Like sometimes what it does is runs on a doom loop. Like I call this doom loop because you just press enter and enter, and it just keeps running and running with no specific goal. So there's that as well. It may waste some of your time if you are not cautious with this. Like it just keeps on creating scripts, keeps on inferring itself, and without getting to a desired outcome. So there's that as
Oh,
well.
it's interesting. I mean, yeah, I've seen that it goes on the RAM. Everything it wants to just create a script for it, and you have to tell it, don't over-engineer it, don't like create random scripts and stuff like that. There's one thing that I've seen that a lot of times when you try to ask exploits or things to these LLMs, they try to object because they are not meant for hacking in the wrong sense. So how do you go about it? Like, is it just the
Yeah.
prompting that gets you there, or do you do something special about it?
Sorry, can you repeat the exact question?
Oh, I was saying that a lot of times when you use LLMs for ethical hacking, because they don't understand the difference between a bug bounty hunter and actual attacker. So they try to cut down the output. They won't give you the required output that, hey, I can't help you with this. This is the standard response they get because it is against their terms of service or privacy policy. So how do you go about that?
Yeah. My prompt that I use is like I just say that look, this is the JS file that you need to scan, and our CTF target is at target.com, https target.com. So whatever you find, just try and append it on target.com and
Oh, okay.
give me the results of whatever you found. So far, it has been working well for me. I use Cloud Code, and
Mhm.
but the results may vary depending on what agent you may use. You may need to
Yeah.
use more jailbreaks than this, but Cloud Code works good
Mhm.
for security research so far.
And like, do you also use it to unminify your JavaScript files, or like, is it like the standard static JavaScript file? I mean,
No, no.
uh,
For unminifying, I just use a script that I made.
mhm.
I might, make it public in a while. It works really cool. It works on in the browser. I just copy paste it to my, save it as a file, copy and save it as a file, and then give it over to Cloud Code. It does
Oh,
the rest of the
that's
things.
that's interesting. I mean, yeah, people love to use it if you have it live on your website or something. Cool, that's really good.
Yeah, sure.
Coming,
Really like.
yep, we talked a lot about hacking and stuff, but I wanted to touch upon the mindset, the burnout, and the balance, the human side of hacking. People see bounties, not the burnout. What is it really behind the scenes? Like, have you ever hit a
Sorry.
burnout? Oh, I am saying people see bounties, they don't see the burnout. What is it really like behind the scenes? You have
Yeah.
been here hacking for the last 6 years. Have you ever hit a burnout and what triggered it?
So yes, I did have a lot of burnout when I was like in 2023, 2022, because I was not really hacking in a group. What changed in hacking in a group is like things are distributed. Like even if you are not actively hacking on a target, there will be someone who is like sharing something, and you sit on it and hack on it. So uh, when the efforts of a lot of people are combined, then it is really easy for you to actually take care of your daily expenses, if you especially if you are doing bug bounty for a living. It's not just you who is putting in the effort. It's also your friends or teammates that are working with you. So this is something that which has helped me avoid burnout in this year so far. But I think when you're working alone specifically, and you're working on a target and you're not finding bugs, which is a very normal scenario. I think burnout is obvious, because your mind it wants like the dopamine which it gets from solving something, or uh, okay, wow, we actually did it. So when it does not find that,
Mhm.
it is usually you can get burned out from it. So apart from this, you can also maybe create some hobbies, like go ride a bike, or go
Mhm.
travel somewhere, and that way your mind would be recharged. Like it would get some dopamine from those activities as well. It's not specifically from hacking which you are deriving your dopamine from. So there's a lot of mix. Like you need to sometimes balance a bit between hacking and life. That would help you avoid these burnouts. But if you actually get a burnout, take a break, and then I wouldn't say totally detach from hacking. Maybe read some news or articles, or
Mhm.
build something, stay in touch, but avoid probably like the type of hacking that is getting you burned out. And then once you are whole with yourself, you can try and resume it.
Yep, I totally agree with this. Like in talking to friends and working together. I mean, even the same thing happened when there was this remote setup during COVID. Everyone was doing work remotely. After a certain point,
Yeah,
initially everyone enjoyed it, but after a certain point, people
yeah,
wanted to go back to offices because they were just glued to the screens and they were not actually having any meaningful conversations with their colleagues or peers and stuff like that.
right.
That is a really good answer that helped me that people need to keep themselves motivated in this long dry spells, and which is very common in bug bounties. You don't usually get bounties every now and then. How often do you get bounties, by the way? I mean, if people had to send a benchmark.
I mean, yeah, it really depends. Like, I don't consider myself a like I don't go too hard on bug bounties. Like, I'm not climbing leaderboards. I do it for like fun, and it usually gets me around the month. Like, it's fine. Like, I probably get like 5 to 10 bucks a month. Like on a good month, it's like 10 to 15 bucks, and sometimes like two, three. It just really depends on how you decide to focus your effort on.
Mhm.
I'm also doing some things apart from hunting that takes a bit of my time,
Mhm.
but I think probably like 5 to 10 bucks is fine for a month.
No, that's a really good number.
Uh, yeah, and one thing that you should always have bugs in pending, be it five, be it two, be it three, but keep bugs in pending. Do not let
Good
the number
problems
get
to
to
have.
zero. Do not let the
Well,
number get to zero, or you'll have anxiety. You might have some anxiety, like, oh wow, shit, I don't have any bugs that are on pending. I do not have any payments that might be recurring. So yeah, keep some bugs in
that's
pending. Do not stress yourself out. It's a game. I see like a lot of people trying to grind hard, and they may fall, sick, or not take care of their health in grinding too
yeah.
hard. But
I've seen this
I think
happening a
you
lot.
should have, yeah,
Balance is something that people
take
don't
care of your
usually
health
have.
as well.
How do you balance your bug bounty, your work, and your side project? I mean, this is a full-time thing right now, the bug bounty. You're also working on your startup or some idea there. How do you balance
Yeah.
both of these in your day-to-day life?
So, like, balance is a very tough word, but normally, I try to, keep so a priority of things. Like, okay, if I'm
Mhm.
hacking on this target, it's on priority. If we are working on a feature, it's on priority. If I'm doing reach out, it's on priority. I'll try to get the things done on priority first, and then move on to the other things later. Let's be honest, like,
Yeah,
balance does not really work out well in the tech field. Like,
I mean,
as much as
agreed.
you want, like, I'll dedicate 5 hours to bug bounty, I'll dedicate 3 hours to my side project, and I'll do the rest for family or stuff. It does not really work out. Sometimes you will have to go 18 hours in bug bounty, or sometimes you will
Yeah,
have to go 10 hours on your project. But I try to keep things on priority first. That's how I probably like maintain balance.
that's a really good one. This is one thing that I've also felt that sometimes people show that their life is very organized and stuff like that, and other people feel okay if I'm not that organized, I would never reach that point. But majority
Yeah,
of the people that I have talked about, and I was talking to Avinash the other day, he's also a very good
yeah,
bug bounty hunter. He's hacking into Amazon sales for some other companies, and everyone is very scrappy about it. It's just that when they see it online, they feel okay. If they're posting something, then they would have a life very sorted out, very organized and stuff. That never happens. That's a myth that
yeah.
people think
That never
and buy
happens.
to. But this is really
I
good.
mean, I think if you have a very balanced life, you need to work harder.
Yep. And bug bounty, as for that, for anything that you want to be good, I feel it's much about the mental stamina as well as the technical skill. So it's a marathon, not a
Right.
sprint. So you need to think about it
Exactly.
like that. That's really good.
Very good.
Coming to the it's the second last segment about evolving and giving back. I see you're very much active into the community. You talk to people, you try to motivate other people, and you hit your $100,000 bounties on Buckcrowd last year, if I correctly remember, right? So,
Yeah.
what has changed after you crossed that 100K mark?
Sorry, can you repeat? Like, your
Oh,
internet was.
sorry. I was saying that I've seen you giving back to the community a lot and talking to people and trying to motivate. You're also a Hackathon ambassador, if I remember correctly. Last year you hit the
No,
100,000. Sorry.
India West region.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you also hit the $100,000 bounty mark on Buckcrowd last year. So what has changed after you crossed that 100K mark?
Uh, Nothing, I guess. But yeah, it was a big personal achievement for me. I really wanted to happen for years. Like, when I started out, I saw posts of people hitting 100K, and it was a very big deal for me. I'm like, one day I'll also hit that mark. But when I did it, like obviously there were a lot of congratulations and Bakrod even tweeted or reposted it. But personally, apart from that like quick glimmer of moment, nothing
Mhm.
really changes.
That's very, I would say that's a very true realization and true, and I mean, people try, oh, it's everything has changed and all that, but that's a very really good raw feedback and thing that you mentioned. Cool.
Yeah,
So, oh, yeah.
with good income, maybe you can spend on yourself. You can buy things you probably like dreamed about. You can take care of yourself better. If you're talking in the measure of those things, yeah, definitely did change. But apart from that, it's pretty normal.
Okay. So, we're talking about these things. So, once you started bounties and now that you're earning a regular income, some kind of a regular income through that, how's your
Yeah.
lifestyle changed from that? Like, have you moved out of your hometown? You still live there? Have you changed your lifestyle altogether? Or what's the difference between now and then?
I think um, I'm very sufficient, I would say. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say like rich or like something like a millionaire or something, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sufficient. Like I have the things that I want, touch wood. And
Good.
thanks
Yeah.
to Bug Bounties, I've also been able to travel. Like it's been a very passion of mine to travel to different places. I've been to 7 countries so far, and I hope to explore more.
Oh.
And I think bug bounties did play a very important role in helping me achieve these,
Mm-hmm.
like, be able to travel, spend good, like, eat good food, or, get a place, get a apartment. Um, these are like the basic things
Basic
that a
things.
person may want in their life, and I think bug bounties has done it for me.
Okay. Touching about these questions, there's thing I wanted to ask though. What is your proudest moment so far? Maybe not the biggest bounty, but the most something that you're very proud of.
Okay. I think the proudest moment for me with bug bounties was to be able to, buy an apartment where me and my family can live in,
That's
and my mom has really been proud of it. So I think that's the proudest moment for me
I
so far.
think, and once you have this, your family also very proudly shows to other people, see, my son got this by just hacking companies worldwide. So that's a very good thing.
So funny thing is like when I was in like 10th standard and I did not get 90%, like I got 89. My parents like scolded me over it, and now they like talk about me proudly.
That's a thing of history now. No one even cares about 89%, obviously. Yeah. I was
Yes.
talking about the Medium article. So you used to write about these articles and we don't write so frequently these days. Why did you start writing and
Yeah.
mentoring other hackers in the community?
I think it really okay. So I really want to give back to the community, like whatever I've learned so far. I'm planning a few things. Like we have a lot of content that me and my friends have worked on. These beautiful submissions, these beautiful
Mhm.
vulnerabilities that we have found on like lots of websites so far. But I'm not really getting the time to do the write-ups. I have a lot of content that I can post out.
Mhm.
um, like I really want to be able to give back to the community because whatever I've whatever I've learned, X or the infosec community has played a big role in the in it so far. So I want to be able to give back to the community.
Yeah, you were talking about like a lot of content that you have with your team. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, I have a lot of content that I have planned out. It may be uh, released in the following months, but I haven't been able to work on more articles due to time constraints. Like I want
Hmm.
to publish a few of my issues, like
Hmm.
things I found so far, but due to time constraints, I haven't been able to be as active on Medium. And whatever I aim to give back is very niche. Like you would not
Hmm.
find that content, elsewhere. Like there are maybe a lot of, uh, you know, write-ups that talk about the same issue, like it's CSRF, IDOB, broken access
Mm.
control, business logic. But if you see my write-ups, like I have like probably like two or three of it, they are unique. So
Yep.
I want to give out some unique content, and for that you need some effort. Like there a lot
Yep.
of effort goes behind it. As you obviously you know about it, right? You're
Yep.
running a this thing that you are doing. It takes a lot of effort.
Yep.
So I think we'll be able to see more of it in the coming months.
I remember like I reached out to one of these, so when I was looking to find people on the Hacker to Hacker series, I reached out to a lot of people. This was also 2 years back. This got discontinued because a lot of things happened in where like in my personal life I was working, I shifted to US and all that. So a lot of these things happened, and I remember I was talking to this guy, and 2 years back he told me that he's going to start his YouTube channel and then he's going to do it. So I told, okay, all the best with you. 2 years now later, I again reached out to him for the YouTube for this collaboration, the hacker to hacker thing, and I still saw that message. It was still there. He has not yet started the YouTube thing, and I understand it takes a lot of effort. Maybe you can create a video or two, but to keep it running is a very strong discipline and consistent effort. That's not, I mean, it's very hard if you're doing a lot of other things. So,
Very
if you could talk
exactly.
to your 2020 self, what's one thing you would warn him about or tell him that do this way? I mean, there's this videos coming up where you have your like Sora or AI generated video where you
Yeah.
have your younger self, and so let's assume that's the case. So, what would you teach it to your younger self?
Um, for my younger self, I'd say like two things. First is push harder. I know you're really doing really good, but you need to push harder. And second is make connections in the community, like network better. These are two things I'd say to my younger self.
I've seen that time. People don't use, and networking works in any place. I've realized it like in the recent years when I started my own business. That's when I realized that networking so much. I've been networking with people for a long time, but properly networking and like I read a book about it. There was a very good about. So I've been a very introvert person. So networking for me is a very long effort. It's a more amount of effort. Now it comes naturally, but it's still a lot of effort. So I read a book about it, how you should network as an introvert and stuff like that. So people should read things and maybe implement it.
What's the book? Tell me. I need to know.
Oh, there's this concept called lose touch networking, and it's especially for introverts who can't like always go into social gathering and talk to people and party all day, all every weekend or stuff like that, which who are very comfortable in their close circle of 4 or 5 people and they can hang out with them. To lose touch is essentially when you have list of let's say 150 to 50 people or whatever, you know that these are people that I would want to keep in touch with, and then you keep on adding to that. It's a rotating list of things. It's not a very, I would say, algorithm to it, but essentially you just message them once in a while, hey, how you are doing, without anything you want. So at the time when you actually want to get something from them, at that time you already have these touch points essentially. So in networking, essentially every maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you just message them, how's everything going up, yeah, the previous conversation, you touch base upon that. So people generally use that, and that really works. So while I was in SF for this accelerator program, so that's where I got to meet a few people, and these were very good communicators. They mentioned about this book. I'll probably send you the link. And that's where I got to know about this book about like introverts
Lose touch.
guide to networking, something of that sort. It's a good one. Cool. What's
That's really
one
interesting.
misconception?
We'll check this out
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely send you. I mean, I know every hacker is a very introvert person, majority of the people. So it's very useful for them, I would say. There's just one last question and then we'll have a
That's right.
rapid fire and
Yeah.
we'll close this one. What's one misconception about bug bounties you
Sure.
wish people understood more?
Um, I think there might be this conception that bug bounties are a get rich easy scheme or get rich
Yeah.
quick scheme, which it is not. It When you're doing it in the long run, it would take your lot of your energy, lot
Mm,
of your dedication, and sometimes the payouts may not be consistent, but you have to
mm,
stick with it. So,
Mm.
if someone tells you that, like, hey, let's do bug bounties, it's a very lucrative path to get into, please don't do it. Only do it if you have the passion, if you can spend an unhealthy amount of time in front of the computer screen and have fun in the process, because it's gonna be tiring. And while the rewards are really good, but it may not be as consistent. So if you can deal with that, good. But if you are someone who has different needs, then please do not opt for this.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I feel a lot of people jump into this looking it as a quick get quick rich scheme thing, get rich quick scheme, but that is not how it pans out, and it's very miserable for people who are like there. Cool. Let's quickly jump into the
Yeah.
rapid fire. You don't have to think a lot, maybe 30 seconds, and you just have to answer it. Okay? This is interesting. Okay.
Okay.
What's your favorite vulnerability class right now?
I think it's anything unauthenticated.
One underrated tool every hacker should use.
Arjun by Somdev, it finds good parameters.
One habit that makes you better every day.
I think being inquisitive or curious about things that helps me dig into it. So yeah.
Who in the hacking world do you look up to?
Sorry.
Who in the hacking world do you look up to?
Not really looked up to, but my support system are my friends, my collaborators. There's Arpit, there's Tess, there's Aditya, Security Smith, and yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. If you would have to collaborate with one person, who would you reach out to?
I think it would be Arpit, my friend, because that's the guy I
Right.
send most my exploits to.
If you weren't hacking, what would you be doing rather? Let's say you never figured out, you never stumbled upon the cyber cafe. What would your career path be like?
I'd still probably be in tech somewhere, maybe not in hacking, but tech is something I'm really interested in. So yeah, probably somewhere in tech.
That's really good. I mean, now that's the rapid fire complete. There's just one question that I wanted to ask. What's next for you? What should we expect from you coming out in the next couple of months or the years?
I mean, next couple of months can be really interesting for me as well. Like, we are doing some things. I cannot talk about it yet, but if it works out for me, there gonna be major changes. Like, I would be shifting from a hacking role to more of a founder role. So,
Oh,
just
that's very
see
interesting.
how things head out so far.
That's really
But
cool.
yes,
Okay,
there might be
yeah.
some research that may be dropping in a month or two. I plan to do it before Christmas, so let's see.
Oh, is it on Medium? Is it on Twitter? Where should we be focused on?
I think you can just connect on Twitter. You'll get all of my updates on it.
Hmm. Give me one name I should invite to this Hacker to Hacker series.
I think you should.
Now I've put you on the spot.
I think you should invite Arpit. He's really a fun guy to talk. If you're talking
Oh
about
yeah, yeah,
DNS, automation, takeover, anything, anything that involves scaling or the internet, things internet wide. Yeah.
that's really good. Thanks a lot, Devanshu. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much
And
for
yep, hope everyone.
the invite, and it was really
Uh,
fun and enjoyable conversation. We got to really talk about a lot of things from hacking to personal life and how things should be. A lot of things. I think this is a really good initiative, and I'm happy you invited me into it.
this was not what I taught him to speak, but thanks that he spoke all these things.
Yeah.
Good words. But yeah, thanks a lot for doing this and hope everyone learned something from this today. And we'll continue inviting more people. If you have any names, please comment in the description below and I'll reach out to those people to get on this videos. Thank you.
Thank you.